Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Harpy Stitch. I'm Amy, and this is my corner of the internet all about my cross stitch journey. It is December 14th. I have finished my morning shift at Michael's. I had to be there at 5 a.m. today. Yay, Christmas season in retail. There is a giant pile of snow out my house because we have had our first big snow of the year. In fact, this last week at work, I got an early out on Tuesday and we had a late start on Wednesday, which I didn't get the memo on. I didn't get the phone call I was supposed to get. So I was there at the normal time and got like 2 hours of working in the school all by myself pretty much. So got a lot done then. But there's a ton of white stuff outside my window. It is like negative 15 outside Fahrenheit. Very chilly. But it's a good reason to stay inside and stitch when you can, right? If you are new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. Hope you enjoy what I have to share today. Let's see, what other big news have I got going on? I finished my college class. I think I got a B. I don't know when I'll get my grade though. Let's see. I have 2 new classes next semester. I will start them on January 12th. Sorry, I have notes and my brain is full of information. I do have my November stitch count for you. I was able to stitch 8,971 stitches in the month of November. Not bad with 2 jobs. Well, 3 if you count night school, Michael's, and my day job, and a class. So I have no idea from January till May how much stitching I'll actually get done, but crossing my fingers. So I have an FFO, I have a new start, a few whips, and some little tiny bit of haul and some stitchy plans, and then a book to share and some things that we've watched recently. So my first thing is my it's finished object. It is my 4th Shawshank sampler that I was commissioned. I washed it in preparation to mail it, but I haven't ironed it yet. I was expecting him to ask, but he decided that I should just hold on to it till we get another order, and I will be starting another one over my Christmas break. I think I'm going to try to do like a letter a week or a strand a week or something like that, maybe 2 strands a week, something, just to keep it going so that I don't have to do rush orders and maybe have a few lying about in case of orders, so I don't have to give up all my stitchy time just to that. It does make, if I want to count my stitches, it does make it a pain in the butt to do it just a strand, which is why I don't usually do it. Sorry, I was looking out my window in case, thought I saw a creature. We get lots of bunnies outside, even in the middle of winter. And I think I see bunny footprints on the hill of snow. We're on a dead-end street, so they shove all the snow from the road right up outside of our apartment. They just have to make sure that they keep a path to the fire hydrant that's also outside of our apartment. But nonetheless, I am distracted by the nature at the moment. Next, I have started my 50th project for the year. So I made my goal. I started 50 projects. Honestly, I really just wanted to work on that, but I'm trying to finish some goals that I had for other projects. So I made myself stop. So the thing that I started was the temperature guide for my Goth Temp Stitch Along by Goth Stitch. I did the extended temperature range that was charted by Stitchy Bitch. Goth Stitch is also known as Grandma Be Wildin'. Excuse me, I gotta sneeze. I never sneeze just once anymore. It's very annoying. So I'm doing this on French Lilac by Picture This Plus. I thought it was 36, but my notes say that it's 28. I am not sure. All this is going to be is 9 stitches of each color that was used for the temperatures. And then if you look here, I've got 80 to 84. And then it'll have the temperature range that color stands for in the main project. The thing I think that's going to be the trickiest is being consistent with the grid on the chart for the temperature is not very clear. It might have been because I was running low on blue ink or something in my printer. So that is what this is going to be, and it won't take very long at all, which is, I just kind of wanted, I finished those 2 colors and then I put them away. I did debate briefly about whether I should do 1 or 2 strand, but when you go straight across, the 1 strand disappeared, so I did like 1 stitch of that, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's just going to disappear. I do need to still decide if I'm going to outline each little square, and just in case, so this is the project that goes with. This is the 2000, I think it was 2022, but I didn't do the books until 2003. Ooh, wow, those books show up really bright. I don't consider this a finish yet because I decided that to help the book stand out, I needed to backstitch. So you can see here's some back-stitched books versus the not backstitched. And then like that just looks like a blob, but it's supposed to be a fern with leaves, but I used variegated thread and I just went straight across. There's like a kitty cat. I'm trying to decide if I need to do any details on him. This plant needs a little bit of details. That's a skull. It clearly needs some backstitch, so you can see what the heck is going on there. And then this kitty was not originally like this. He was just a little, I think he was a little black cat, and I changed him to match our kitty cat Dwemer. So I gotta go in and I gotta, since there's no backstitch requested for this, I have to figure out how to do like the angled books and stuff and make it look good. But that is the temperature stuff. So my thought is mount this. I think I might do just a canvas mount finish for this, and then find a smaller one to do this one on, and then just hang them up on my wall next to each other, maybe right behind me. But yeah, this is French Lilac. Picture this front plus either 36 or 28. I'm not sure. But yes, I love this. I love this so much. I just have to finish the back stitch. I have to say I do not love the back. It doesn't make a huge visual difference here, but I think it makes it slightly more defined. But it is very hard to see where I've already back stitched with the black next to the black. So, but I am going to back stitch this before I am done with it. The back stitching the books is easy, except for the angled ones. But when you get into the case itself, I want it to be consistent. And I think there's a few places where, like, because of the angle that I went to the next stitch at, the corner of the stitch is like a little off. So sometimes I think backstitching can help hide certain sends if you're going like from right to left. If you finish off your top stitch going right to left, and then you go further left and it pulls it funny. But anyway, so yeah, I think I thought about putting that as one of my 26 for 2026 for Fandom's yearly challenge, but I was like, I know that I would have enough backstitch to do 2,000 stitches, but I don't think I want to force myself to do 2,000, well, it would be 4,052 backstitch to meet a goal. I think that might drive me crazy. But that is the Temperature Legend is my final start for my 50 for 50. I made it. I did it. I really just want to go knock out those squares because it's 9 stitches per color. And then, but it won't take me long once I get to do it. So maybe I'll just do that over break. I think the backstitching the numbers will take longer than the squares. But anyway, I love it, that fabric. And I didn't realize that I had already cut this for this and put it in the bag. And I had a small piece of this and I was like, oh, I don't think that's going to be enough. I forgot that I put this in there for this purpose. And I bought another piece of French Lilac when I went to a cross-stitch store. So I have a another piece of small piece that I could do some all on, and I have another piece, bigger piece. And I'm like, ooh, now I have something else. But the question is what to put on that beautiful purple fabric. All right, so I only have 4 whips for you this week. Since it is almost the end of the year, I decided to focus on my last few projects that I did get my 2025 stitches in for the yearly challenge. I've been pretty good about keeping up with most of the weeklies. There were a few weeks I had to let those go due to homework and schoolwork and stuff. But I wanted to finish. I was like, how many of these do I have left? And I'm at 8 now, and I only had 11 to go. So I was over halfway. So what I decided to do is, instead of trying to pick projects for my weeklies, because I can double dip my weeklies in with my yearly, the 2025 stitches. So, but I like the challenge of matching the prompts as much as I can for the weeklies. So what I did is, where one of my 25 projects for 2025 match, I'll use it. If not, I'll just pick one of them and I will do as many of the prompts with the Super Who option. So you can use your 25 projects that are on your list to fulfill any prompt as long as you haven't finished your 2025 stitches. So this last week I was like, oh, this last 2 weeks I should say, I'll just do, I'll pick all of my prompts will be one of the projects, and I'll just pick one for each and Super Who it, and then I'll get a little work on each. Then I was like, wait, that's stupid. My brain was like, no, why do it that way? Why not just pick one project and focus? So I went through and I counted up. Do I have it over here? No, I don't. I went through and counted up how many stitches I had left to get to my 2025 stitches for the year in each of my projects that I was left. And then I decided to prioritize them. Okay, let's do the ones that have the least number of stitches first and work my way up. Well, I didn't end up doing that either, because plans are all made up and points don't matter, except for I kind of like the points. I'm not super competitive, but it's more like getting the points for myself. I am kind of sad that my team is like in last place for Super Who, Supernatural and Super Who competition for fandom, but that's okay. I still got tons of progress on projects. And I think that's one reason I'm trying to finish, because if I finish all of them, I get like 500 bonus points or something, which would really help out my team. Those won't be graded until the end, so I don't know how long it will take us to grade it. But, so I ended up throwing out my second plan too. I ended up throwing out one project per thing and then rotating. I decided I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to use it to finish all of the stitchy challenges that week. And then with whatever time I have over left in the week, I will... excuse me, my nose has started running this morning, and I'm praying I don't get a cold until after we go see the kid for Christmas. But I'm just going to do one project, and for Super Who, or for the prompts, so that's like 6 prompts, 200 stitches, so that's 1,200 stitches. And then whatever time I have left, I will finish it, work on that piece until I get to 2025 stitches. And so that's what I did. And then if I finished the 2025 stitches, I would pick up another one, use it for the prompts, and then keep working my way through them. Well, I got 3 projects to their 2025 stitches, and I'm most of the way on a 4th. So the first thing I worked on to finish up, because I was pretty close to the end, was my Turtles All the Way Down by Ink Circles. I started this on May 7th of this year. It is on 32 count Miracle Mint by Silkweaver, and this fabric is so lush and soft. I love it. And there's the whole thing. So I now have 6 turtles done, and I was like, oh crap, do I have enough to do 2026 stitches next year? And I do, with just a few turtles left over. So this one is the center. I find it weird that we have a turtle with a purple shell, but I'm totally down with it anyway. There are 13 colors overall, and I'm doing this 2/2. So I have finished my goal of 2,025 stitches, a little over that actually, because if I was working on a strand, I might as well finish it off. But I love that green, it's so pretty. But look at these little guys, aren't they cute? And as a Discworld fan and a philosophy fan, this is going to be for my husband. I think I'm going to do it as a bell pull. I'm still looking for a bell pull top that has like either a turtle or some sort of aquatic theme to it, rather than just hearts and Christmassy stuff, which is what I seem to find. But isn't that lovely? And yes, I don't iron my stuff till it's all done. And I will wash this because this isn't a hand dyed, it's just green and it's DMC, that's not gonna thing. So I will wash this when it's done, iron it nicely, and then put it on a bell pull. Or there is something else I might use at Michael's if I can't find a bell pull I really like. But isn't that beautiful? I love it so much. When I started my round robin, I was like, oh, it's my first ink circles. Oh wait, no, I did turtles all the way down. That was my first ink circles. So there is that. Next is my first Dirty Annie piece. It was from Just Cross Stitch Halloween, the October 2023 edition, and it is by Annie Craft, also known as Dirty Annie. I had bought a Dirty Annie pattern when Stitchville USA went out of business, and I thought that would be my first Dirty Annie. Then I started this one. Excuse me for a minute. The dry air is making my throat dry. All right, so I started this on May 9th. Mania is super helpful when you're trying to do 50 starts in a year. It is on 40 count antique lace by Seraphim, and I'm doing it 1/2. And it's a very simple fabric, but it's so pretty. But check out, oh, I can't see. How close am I? Here we go. Oh, there we go. Now I can look around it. I don't worry too much. I don't have a ton back. I should maybe get a board, but because I'm against a plain white wall, I think it works okay. And all my light sources coming from one direction because I only have the window on the side. But isn't that beautiful? This is at 2,025 stitches, maybe a little bit more than that. I almost got all the green in the sign done. That really helped because once I got the outline far enough, then I could just go zoom, zoom, zoom. And it was just basically fill in. So I'm loving the candelabra up at the top. I thought about adding sparkles to the flame, but I was like, I decided against it. And this right here will be a skull on a pedestal or a skull candle. Somewhere in this design, there's a kitty cat. I will not change it to match our cat just because that would look out of place with the rest of the design. And the first cat I ever had was a black cat. Her name was Emmy. She was amazing. She didn't like her kids to stick around though. She wasn't very nice if we tried to keep one of her children. But she was a good mouser, and she's a black cat with no tail, and every Halloween while we lived there, she would get in the window and she would arch her back and hiss at the trick-or-treaters when they came up to the door. It's the only time of the year she did it too. It was so weird. But anyway, all right, so that's a witch's welcome. Let's see, next is Matilda, based on Roald Dahl's book art, and it is designed by Fiona Baker. I started this on May 10th. It is on a cotton bag that I got at Michael's that's about 32 count. And I have also reached 2,025 stitches on this. Some of these they're a little over, but here she is. Teeny tiny Matilda is sitting on her stack of books. There's a book open in her lap. She's got her arms up in excitement. These are her legs, and there will be socks on her little feet that are hanging down. I think the last time you saw that, I just had like part of her leg and like a little bit of the book. Like it just looked like a blob. And her hair, which is gray. Poor Matilda, gray hair at such a young age. yeah, there's 10 colors in this. And I started it on May 10th. But yeah, and she's gonna be on my list next year too. So that is Matilda. I was honestly trying to get my stitches in, so I skipped the back stitch. I will do the back stitch. You have to. It's the only way you can get the roll doll style, is to do the back stitch as Fiona charted it. But then the last thing I've worked on this week is BFG. So Big Friendly Giant, also by Roald Dahl. I hadn't read the book. Have I read the book? I've seen the movie, but I can't remember if I read the book. The only Roald Dahl stuff I've really read, I did read Matilda, but I didn't read it until I was older, like an adult. I don't know why I never had I saw the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie 100 times when I was a kid, but I didn't really read the books until I was a grown-up. So I started this on May 11th in Mania as well, and it is also on my list of 2025 stitches, and I am not quite there yet. I was hoping to have it finished. I've gotten over 800 stitches, almost 900 stitches in this week, and I've got about 400 more to go to get to my 2,500. I thought about skipping the back stitch on his fingers here until a little bit later, but it looked so weird. You couldn't tell what it was. It looked like she was just sitting on a random blob of pink stuff. So I went ahead and put in the back stitch for his fingers and part of his hand, and then his arm, and it'll go down here, and then it'll come back up here, and you'll have the giant's face over here. But there is Fiona sitting on his hand. And what I will do is when I finish both of these, I will turn this bag inside out, put an interfacing inside to keep things from snagging on the stitches. And I will have a Roald Dahl bag. I don't know what I'll use it for, but I'll have a cool bag with cool designs on it. So that's what I'm doing. All right, that's all the stitching I got for you. It has not been my most productive stitchy month, but as I said, been going to school and stuff. So plans, and I got to look at my notes because my brain is too full and stuff leaks out, and that's why I have to write stuff down. All right, so I have 8 more, including this BFG. So once I get BFG done, I'll have 7 more that I need to finish. And I ended up not going with my smallest counts first. I ended up doing some of my bigger counts. So I don't know if I will get them in. I would like to get as many of them finished before Christmas break as I can, but there are only 10 days till Christmas, and my first day off is December 24th. Tomorrow I might take stitching with me when I go on my errand after work tomorrow. All right. So, but there's a reason I want to finish them before winter break. I would like to work on some other things during winter break other than my yearly goals, like setting stuff up for next year. I've already picked my 26 projects for Fandom's yearly challenge next year. I'm not going to be doing a team with them next year because I have 2 classes in January. And I don't think it's fair to a team where for 5 months out of the year I will be not able to do that. But if I do the yearlies, I can kind of do those at my own pace. And during the summer, I'll be having to do my portfolio to get my licensure. And so, again, not fair. I won't be able to give all the attention I would like to my stitching for competition. So I'm not going to be on a team. I will do some of the challenges to help motivate me. I find I enjoy stitching, but having goals, I like matching. I like having quests. So the challenges give me that. I want to, the reason I want to finish as many of my 25 for 2025 projects is because I still have several days of whip go to do. I have 3 days on wisdom that I need to finish. I have 4 days on cliffhanger. I have quite a few days, but if I can have all of those done before then if I do just work on each of those one a day, I should be able to get those all done. I do have like 4 FFOs I'm supposed to finish, but I have some ideas for some FFOs. I still haven't fully finished my Camp Crystal Lake yet because I haven't wanted to go to the like Home Depot kind of store to get the upholstery tacks that I would like to use to pin it to make it look like old tacks. And I need to take it with me in the woods so I don't get a tack that's too long, because I wanted to like make it look like somebody nailed it into the wood. So I haven't done that. I have a few things that I can fully finish. And again, it's WhipGo is, you know, just to help you out. There's no WhipGo police, as other people say. I have enjoyed doing WhipGo for the first time this year, and I will be doing it next year. I've already got my projects picked out. I think I will share that in December. I have set up my list for Fandom 2026. I will be doing a D-Stash video soon. Actually, I would like your input. So it's gonna either be next weekend or sometime during the Christmas holidays. I'm thinking next weekend would be better for most people. But I have a question. Is this something I should record or should I do it live? I don't know. I'm not going to post it on my Etsy or any of that. Etsy takes too much. eBay takes too much. My thought is I'll show you what I have. You can message me and say, hey, I want that, and we'll work out a price. You pay for the shipping and I'll get it to you. And I take Venmo, PayPal, you know, I've got all of the apps for those things. But, you know, so let me know what you think. What would work best? Would it be a live video? I won't be able to really answer things as much. I've got some fabric I think I should probably iron, maybe wash it because it's from my grandma, so it's like 30 years old. I have some other things too that I can't wash even though they're a little older because they've got the blue thing on there. If I wash them, the embroidery pattern will go off. But I'm gonna I've got a few other things that I know I'll never use. I want to reorganize my craft storage a little bit, clear up, make some space. So I want to declutter a little bit. I am going to film my end of the year whip parade on the 24th, and I will post it on the 31st. That will probably be a rather long one since I started 50 projects, though I have had 21 finishes so far. 4 of those were the Shawshanks though, so they aren't in my count for my 50 starts. And I will be stitching like crazy until January 12th when I go back to we will be back. I'll be back at work full time on the 5th, and then the 12th is when my college classes start, and I'll be taking 2. We're going to see the kid and the son-in-law on the 25th, so I will be baking and stuff on the 24th, which I do have the day off. I'll probably start. Husband wants gingerbread cookies, and those usually need to chill overnight, so I'll do that Wednesday. Thursday will be Christmas Eve, or on the 23rd, and Christmas Eve I'll do the actual baking. Tomorrow I'm going to get the oil changed in the car because it is a 2.5-hour drive to visit the kid. And next week, I think it is, before we go, I will be getting new tires on the car. We need them. I was trying to put it off as long as possible, but if we're going to be driving 2.5 hours in the winter each way on Christmas Day, we should make sure that the tires are in good shape. And then I want to try to finish up as many of my WhipGo goals. I don't have any plans for new starts. I'm not planning a new start on New Year's. I know, evil me. But I just did a year of 50 starts. I do have everything I need to start Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which I've thought about doing anyway. But with the 50 starts this year, I think I'm not going to do a no start, but I think I'm going to do minimal starts next year. I'm also not going to have a lot of time. I already have enough projects. with trying to go back to school, needing to do my portfolio. I also need to do my micro credential to get a pay bump at work. So I've got tons on my plate, and I think I'm just going to try to enjoy the projects that I have. I do plan on taking stitching with me. I did join Whip Warriors yesterday. I am very excited. I've been hearing about it. And I think I'm going to do the 26 for 2026. Or, I think that's what I'm going to do. For their prompts, I just work on those. I'm not exactly sure how you earn enough points to stay in. I'm hoping that I can figure out where to ask those questions. But if you are in Whip Warriors, I have joined you. I had met Lisa last year, Lisa of Paddock Lane Designs. I met her at Frogwarts, and we hung out quite a bit last summer, and she was super nice. And she's the one behind Whip Warriors as well. And apparently there's reward patterns, which I didn't know. I'm sure I know Erin Rustle probably mentioned it on the hiking stitcher, probably mentioned it on her Flosstube, but since I wasn't in the group, I probably just half tuned it in for that piece. Like I listened to but I didn't pay attention to all the rules because I wasn't planning on joining yet. But yeah, we did, so Whip Warriors, and I'm going to do the Wanderlust game by Nastasia. I'm not sure how to pronounce her thing. I posted a video about it. Oh, that was the kitty jumping. You can't see him. He's going after my cup. You don't want what's in there, kitty. Yeah, I know, but you don't want it. So I'm going to do like really low pressure games this year and stuff just to help keep me motivated. Not that I need much motivation to stitch, but it makes me feel like I'm less like I'm stitching by myself, if that makes sense. Like it becomes less of a lonely endeavor. So yeah, my husband is very supportive. He loves what I do, but he doesn't want to hear me talk about it all the time. It's just not his thing. And he hasn't been feeling well. So the idle chatter about cross stitch, when he's not feeling well, he's, just gets where he just doesn't want to listen when he's not feeling good. Which I get when I'm sick and I'm not feeling good. I don't want to listen to people blather about stuff either. And that's okay. All right. He is really good about helping me pick stuff out. All right, haul. So I don't have a ton of haul. One of the things I got was, I already had a pair of these, but they were scratched up because I didn't realize they came with a bag. So these pop onto my glasses and then I can flip them up. So I got a new pair that wouldn't be so scratched. And suddenly I can see the tiny counts and the darker fabrics again, like I did when I first got these. So yeah, that's one piece of haul. I got that yesterday and threw out the old scratched up ones. And then I talked to my husband because I've been doing a little bit of Christmas shopping. And we got my husband his Christmas early and he picked it out. And then I said, well, I saw this, but I didn't want to spend the money. So what I got was one of these LED neck lights. And he's like, yeah, you can buy your Christmas present. I kind of bought mine. He asked me if he could buy some gaming books for our online game that we do with our kid and some friends. But so I got one of these, and I wanted to get it before because my kid's house, when we go to visit, the light sucks. So basically I can only take like the Shawshank sampler, which is 11 count or something on 14 count. But I didn't know if I wanted to do that this time around. In fact, just in case I don't finish all my stitching, I better figure out which things are small enough that I can take to my kid's house without their 4 cats ripping everything up. So yes, but I got a neck lamp to go so I can have light right here. Do have a nice floor lamp next to me, but sometimes I'm wondering if it would be nicer for my husband when he's having a migraine day if my light's more focused here and he doesn't get the bleed through. He's very photosensitive, and when he's having a migraine, it's even worse. Like, he wears sunglasses outside all the time. All right, and then my final just cross stitch of the year got here, and I marked some pages. I really miss my World Cross Stitching, but I just can't justify it, right? And that way, I had to give it up before the tariffs got all crazy. But here's one of the designs. Isn't that adorable? The little girl with the polar bear. She's very cute. It's called Bear Hug, and it's by X Free Stitch, Svetlana Hrybach. I have no idea how to say her name. But that's it. And there's like the snowflakes or beads. That one's really cute. This is not my style, but when I first looked at it, I swore that it was in multiple layers of fabric, but it's not. It's just the way they did the back stitching around the lacy frame pieces that make it look like they're sitting on top of each other, which is a great effect. That's some genius design there. As I said, not my typical stitch, but that is a really nice piece. That is from Tranquility Designs. And then the cover art, which is another one by Tranquility, which is this snowman. He's so cute. I don't know if y'all can hear that little noise. There's something on the floor and the cat is batting it around. This is one thing I would like to start next year. I was interested in starting it, but it was not part of my New Starts New. And this is the last section, and I should have all the other pieces. If I somehow missed a magazine, then I can always go through my Libby app. But I do like these botanical designs. It makes me think of old science books. And then this is just too cute. Look at this little puppers. This one is like Le Petit Croix de Lucie. So the same old Scully that did my old Scully pattern that I'm working on. It's totally different vibe, isn't it? Like, I was thinking they would do more creepy stuff all the time. But no, they did an adorable little puppy. This one is by Twisted Willow Designs in my Silly Goose era. I kind of like that one. Not my normal style, but I like the sentiment a lot. So yeah, there's some cute ones in here. I'm not showing you everything. And of course, the Halloween lantern, or what do they call it? Pumpkin lantern. And this one is by Century Farm Stitching. Ghosties and pumpkins. Perfect. And then, so cute. This is Happy X Craft. Just a simple little Rudolph. I know she probably can't call it Rudolph because of copyright, but heck, Rudolph was invented just as a commercial for Macy's, so whatever. All right. So shout outs for this week. I've already kind of mentioned them. The Hiking Stitcher Erin. I've been getting caught up on her. I don't get the time I'd like to watch Flosstube. Her old world map is looking amazing. I've barely gotten started on mine, and there's no way I'm going to catch up to her. But oh my gosh, seeing what it's going to look like as I get further along, oh, I'm so glad I chose to do it. We love old maps in this house. If we could wallpaper our house in maps, we probably would. That nautical stuff. But a lot of maps have nauticals, so both those things work. And I was getting caught up. I had watched a few of Paddock Lane Designs, Lisa's Flosstubes as Shady Trees Stitchers, but the ones that I watched were her by herself. So I was trying to get caught up and see some more of hers because I watched several of them right after Frogwarts. So it is her and Jenny, and I hadn't met Jenny before in the videos. They are doing a Nativity Tiny Town Sal for Christmas, the 24 days of Christmas. And as I said, Lisa's the leader of Whip Warriors. So I'm interested to see some of the games. Again, I'm going in a casual approach and non-competitive this year simply because I've got 2 classes coming up in January. I'm going to have a lot of time commitment during the summer trying to get my licensure portfolio all sorted out. And so I won't be having the time that I would like to stitch, but I will still make sure I have stitching time because I found out, like, if I miss too many days of stitching, I get super cranky. But, oh, that isn't all I have. I have some reading and watching. So if you were just here for the stitchy stuff, have a great day, great week. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your stitching. Be safe. And please like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. If you could let me know whether you would prefer a recorded destash video or a live one, that would be really helpful. I haven't done one of these, so if you have done a destash video, if you have any recommendations, tips, tricks, or things, please let me know. I am open to suggestions. It's a new thing for me, and my nose is getting stuffy again. I apologize. Ugh. And I'm not blowing my nose on camera. So I'll just sound stopped up for the next couple of minutes. All right, so I am still reading The Wandering Inn, Book 2 on audiobook. I'm about halfway through. I have met someone from our world who took the clown class. And it was a very disturbing scene when he got leveled up to level 24 and got some skills that were rather creepy. So, yeah, that's really all I've been reading. I listen to it on my way to and from work. I listen to it like in the mornings at Michael's when we're just doing stocking and, you know, people aren't there. And that's what I entertain myself with while I scan stuff endlessly before we open. As for what we've been watching, so December 3rd marked the 31st anniversary of my husband and I starting dating. So we went and saw Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair in theaters that weekend because it was re-released for its anniversary. And usually it's only a version of the movie that's seen at the movie theater that Quentin Tarantino owns. So what they did is they put both parts of both movies together back to back with an intermission. And they added some footage that wasn't in the original theatrical. It was really good to watch it straight from the front to the back. And it was really cool because there was a younger kid. I mean, he was probably in his 20s, but he was with somebody who had seen it before, and the guy brought his friend to watch it. And it was interesting because, and they were really respectful. There wasn't a ton of talking, but, after the intermission, the guy was still kind of finishing up a few questions before the movie started. And then at the very end, he was like, "That's his daughter? What?" Very confused. Was asking questions because he didn't know, and they took out So originally in the theatrical release, the end of the first movie, when Bill's asking the French lady about what happened when the bride got her, he mentions something like, does she know her daughter's alive? So they took that out. So there was no hint that the baby was still alive. So this guy who had never seen it before didn't know that that the bride's baby had made it. So, he got the real reaction that Quentin Tarantino was probably wishing for when the movie was first released. I don't know why they did it, but with them back to back, he didn't bother to put that cliffhanger in there. So it was really fun to listen to somebody who had never seen its reactions while we were watching it in the theaters. And the theater wasn't overly full, so it was nice. We went to the St. Michael Cinema near us. It's actually an hour away about. But it's a beautiful theater. It's done in a Parisian art style. And it was super fun. So, sorry, my eye is itchy. All right, and other things we watched. We watched this movie called Keeper, which is a little psychological horror movie. It has Tatiana Maslany. You might know her as She-Hulk in the new She-Hulk show. She was amazing. It also had Rossfus Sutherland, who is, yes, related to the other Donald Sutherland and all the Sutherland boys that you've seen in a bunch of stuff. He was quite good. And it was directed by Nick Lepard. And this is a name my husband recognized. I didn't know the name so much. But this lady has been dating this guy for about a year, and he invites her to his cabin in the woods obviously, if you've watched any horror films, you know, never go to a cabin in the woods. And strange things start to happen. She kind of starts losing her mind. Then he says he has to go back to work, and he leaves her, and it's supposed to be this special weekend, and yada, yada, yada. And some strange stuff ensues. There are many parts of the movie where you're not sure what's real, what is actually ghost, what is her just seeing stuff that's not there, what's going on. And then there's an unexpected twist. If you are a horror fan, you might see this twist coming, but you might not. I know there was a couple of spots where we weren't sure what was going on either. So I really recommend it. It's not really bloody. There's some creepy stuff, but it's not gory. So I do recommend it. It was a good little, there's like 4 people in it, and then you hear one person on the phone, or actually 5, because she talks to her friend in person before they leave, and then for the rest of the movie there's like 4 people. So it's a very small cast. It was very good though. We also watched Die My Love, starring Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson. They play a married couple, or they play a couple. They don't get married till later. It's really hard to tell because it is based on a French novel about a married woman, or a mother and wife, who is slowly losing her mind. And but at the same time, it's mostly from her perspective. So like there's a scene where they get married, and you're like, oh, is this a flashback? But no, then their baby's there, so you don't know when they got married. It was really good. Jennifer Lawrence was amazing. Yeah, so I recommend it. That one is a psychological drama, kind of dark comedy thing, not a horror movie, but it was really good. And now I'm curious about reading the book. Apparently the novel is much darker than the movie was, though, so be prepared. And then we watched Wake Up Dead Man, which is the new Knives Out movie. Oh my god, so many great people. Let's see. Of course, Daniel Craig. We had Josh O'Connor, who was new to me. I haven't seen him in anything before that I know of. Glenn Close, Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin was channeling his true self in this role. I can tell you that. Like, he was definitely just playing himself. Mia Kunis, Jeremy Renner, Thomas Hayden Church, where if you're a child of the 80s and you loved Wings, you will know who he is. And then Jeffrey Wright, who I didn't know his name when I saw him, but I was like, oh, I know that guy. And it was really good. And we usually can predict what's happening, but again, they made some twists there that were just like, you weren't sure what's going on. And which is nice, because that's like, what, the 3rd or 4th Knives Out movie now? And the fact that they could, in fact, I think it was more convoluted murder mystery than the other ones were. It was more like, what? Not confusing in what was going on, just like, how are they going to resolve this? How did this murder actually happen? It was definitely more complicated than the previous murders that he solved in the other movies. So, that is all I've got for you today. Watch out for my whip parade. I will probably go into more details about my plans then. For the new year, I'm still trying to figure out a few things. I'm not planning on a ton of starts. I do think I'm going to do some sort of, if I finish so many, then I can start another one. But I don't know how many that's going to be yet until I do my count for how many whips I have total. I have a few, like I started some of those little cards that I didn't finish. Those won't take very long. The legend for the temperature stitch along, that won't take very long. Even if I backstitch, the thing that'll take me the longest, I think, is the lettering. But hopefully you enjoyed what I had to share today, or at least my projects, if you didn't stick around. I keep wondering if I should start doing what some of the other Flosstubers do, and if you made it this far, leave a comment, leave an emoji. But, you know, I haven't decided if I really want to do that yet. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me on Instagram. All my contact info is in the description. You can reach me through email, Instagram, here on YouTube. I'm in the fandom group Discord. I'm in the Goth Stitch Discord. So you can reach me on Discord as well. In fact, I don't know if I put my Discord handle in my description because I wasn't using it much when I set that up, but I should look and check and add it. I'm open to questions. Feel free to ask me anything. And I hope you have a great week, and so long, and thanks for all the stitch. Bye.